April 25th, 1973. Enfield, Illinois, a sleepy little town in the middle of nowhere. Life here is simple. Kids play in the yard, neighbors know each other, and nothing much happens. But on this night, everything changed. Meet Henry McDaniel, a disabled war veteran and antique dealer. He's just come home from a meeting with his wife, expecting a quiet evening. But his kids, Henry Jr. and Lil, are freaking out. They're screaming about a thing that tried to break into the house while their parents were gone. Something was scratching at the door, clawing at the window-mounted air conditioner, desperate to get inside. Now, Henry's a tough guy. He's seen combat, he's not easily spooked. He thinks it's just a stray dog or a raccoon. But then he hears it, a weird, unnatural scratching at the front door. He grabs a flashlight and his .22 pistol, ready to scare off whatever's out there. He swings the door open and freezes. Standing between two rose bushes is a creature straight out of a nightmare. It's 4.5 feet tall, gray and slimy, with 3 legs. Yes, 3. 2 stubby arms with claws, and the creepiest part, 2 glowing pink eyes, big as flashlights, staring right at him. Henry said it looked almost human, but wrong. Like it didn't belong on this planet. Henry doesn't hesitate. He slams the door, grabs his gun, and fires 4 shots at the creature. He's sure he hits it at least once, point blank, just 12 feet away. The thing lets out a hiss like a wildcat and leaps, covering 50 feet in 3 massive bounds, disappearing into the woods near the railroad tracks. Henry calls the Illinois State Police, and when they show up, they find something chilling. Footprints in the soft earth. Dog-like, but with 6 toes instead of 4. 2 prints are 4 inches wide, 1 smaller, like the creature's 3rd leg was uneven. They also find fresh scratch marks on the house siding. This wasn't a prank. Something was out there. Word spreads like wildfire. Enfield's tiny population is buzzing. Just 30 minutes before Henry's encounter, his 10-year-old neighbor, Greg Garrett, had his own run-in. Greg was playing in his backyard when this thing appeared out of nowhere. It stepped on his feet with its clawed, 3-toed limbs, shredding his tennis shoes to pieces. Greg ran inside, crying hysterically. His parents, stunned, couldn't believe it, but the torn shoes were real. Or were they? Years later, Greg admitted to researchers he made it up to mess with Henry and a nosy out-of-town reporter. But here's the kicker. The police found those 6-toed footprints before Greg's story came out, so what's the truth? The police were skeptical, but Henry stuck to his story, even when White County Sheriff Roy Poshard Jr. threatened to lock him up for causing a panic. Henry didn't back down. He told reporters, if they do find it, they'll find more than one, and they won't be from this planet, I can tell you that. Bold words, Henry. But he wasn't alone. On May 6th, just 11 days later, Henry woke up at 3 a.m. to barking dogs. He looked out his window and saw it again, the same creature, casually strolling along the railroad tracks near his house. This time, he didn't shoot. He just watched it vanish into the night. Now, Enfield's in full-on monster mania. Reporters, monster hunters, and thrill-seekers flood the town. 5 guys from out of town even get arrested for firing shotguns in the woods, claiming they saw the creature. Sheriff Poshard was fed up, saying, people are scared to let their kids out, not because of the monster, but because of all these trigger-happy hunters. The local papers were eating it up. Headlines screamed, "Monster at Enfield," and 3-legged beast sighted again. But the real game changer came when Rick Rainbow, a news director from WWKI Radio, got involved. Rick Rainbow wasn't just a reporter, he was a monster hunter with a mission. On May 6th, he and 3 friends went to an abandoned house near Henry's property. They heard strange cries, like a woman screaming mixed with a baby's wail. Then, they saw it. A gray, stooped-over figure about 5 feet tall, moving faster than any human could. They fired a shot, and it bolted, but not before Rick recorded its chilling screech. Cryptozoologist Loren Coleman, a legend in the field, investigated too. He heard the same eerie sound near Henry's house and saw the damage to the siding. Coleman linked the Enfield Monster to other weird sightings in Illinois that year, calling them swamp slobs. He even found reports of a similar creature in Mount Vernon, just 40 miles away back in 1941. A baboon-like thing that leaped 20 to 40 feet in a single bound. Legs and six-toed feet. Plus, Henry shot it point blank, and it didn't even flinch. What kind of animal shrugs off a bullet? Theory 3. Extraterrestrial visitor. Henry himself believed this thing wasn't from Earth. And get this, 1973 was a hot year for UFO sightings in Illinois. Were aliens dropping by Enfield for a late-night scare? Theory 4. A demonic entity. The 3 legs. The aggressive behavior. The eerie eyes. Some locals thought this was straight out of the Bible, a demon stalking the devil's kitchen, a region known for weird phenomena. And here's a theory no one talks about. What if this was a government experiment? The 1970s were peak Cold War, with rumors of secret labs messing with genetics. Could the Enfield Monster have escaped from a nearby facility? We dug into declassified files and found, well, nothing concrete. But the lack of answers is suspicious, right? Drop your favorite theory in the comments. What do you think the Enfield Monster was? After May 1973, the Enfield Monster was never seen again. The hunters left, the reporters moved on, and Enfield went back to being a quiet town. But the story lives on. Locals still whisper about the creature, and cryptozoologists like Loren Coleman keep it alive in books and podcasts. The footprints, the scratches, the recordings, they're all real evidence, but they lead nowhere. It's like the monster stepped out of another dimension and slipped back in, leaving us with a puzzle we can't solve. But here's the twist I promised. In 2020, a hiker in southern Illinois found something strange near Enfield. A plaster cast hidden in an old barn, matching the 6-toed footprints from 1973. It was unmarked, just sitting there, like someone wanted it to be found. Was it a hoaxer's leftover prop? Or proof the monster was real? We reached out to locals, but no one knows where it came from. It's sitting in a private collection now. The Enfield Monster is one of the weirdest, creepiest mysteries in American history. Was it an alien, a demon, or just a small town's imagination running wild? We may never know, but one thing's for sure. This story will haunt you. Drop a comment with your theory and let us know if you've heard of any weird creatures in your town. And who knows? Maybe the Enfield Monster is still out there watching from the shadows. Sleep tight and keep your doors locked. See you next time.